Many people suffering from social anxiety are often told by their friends or family or even doctors that just talking more will help them get over it. Even though conversation experience is important to overcome social anxiety, it's obviously more complicated than that. Telephobia, more specifically, is a unique fear of making phone calls, which we thought could be interesting to explore further. We wanted to make some sort of band-aid solution product that could get people to think about the complexity of social anxiety. Targeting everyone with social anxiety was quite broad, and we needed to find a more specific audience to help better guide our process. Considering freelancers deal with plenty of remote communication, we decided to start there. Our first concept was a case that had modifiers to change the tone of whoever was using it. We thought it would be convenient and accessible for these people since it would be with them no matter where they were. With feedback, it was pointed out that although the phone is something used for professional communication, it's also used for many other things besides work. We were encouraged to explore forms that were more specific to the office setting or the different tools that could be used while working, as well as dive deeper into how our product could affect those that used it. We tried seeing if we could bring a playful or metaphorical form into the product. However, we kept questioning how realistic something like that would be. We wanted our product to be something a freelancer working from home would actually use and put on their desk, so we ended up going with a simpler block form. Our main focus was still on how we could develop our narrative and how we could show the implications of using our product, so we made a rough comic detailing how one could continue facing social anxiety challenges even while having it. However, this scenario came off as too straightforward or predictable, and didn't leave much room for our audience to think. Our initial tone modifiers were a good start too, but we were encouraged to look into other possible conversation features that we could add that could help push our idea further. We considered common excuses or tactics people with social anxiety would use to get out of awkward conversations and ended up with 3 concepts. The cutoff switch played with the trope of faking a bad signal and using it as an excuse to hang up. The apology switch was inspired by the constant feeling of needing to apologize that people with social anxiety often have. The fluff modifier played off how people with social anxiety can often lose their train of thought and start to ramble on due to overthinking their sentences. We wanted to further emphasize the contrast between real and effective social anxiety solutions and the simple advice of just talk more by making these features work through simple switches. We also worked to flesh out a wider variety of scenarios with different personas, implementing more of both our existing and new features. This gave us opportunities to expand on our product's users and its implications. One of the most important changes we made was our decision to recontextualize how our product would be presented to its users. We wanted to keep pushing the idea that customers giving feedback on technology can demand things without really knowing the extent of their effects. Creating 3 separate models gave us plenty of room to show various customer and company interactions over the course of 3 years and allowed us to better present the gradual buildup of customer demands through feedback pages. By downgrading our previous form, we were able to show how our device could first start off, over time having users become more and more reliant on its added features. A lot could already be said about the implications of our first model, but after reaching the point of its final one, these implications become more complicated with more to consider, especially within the context of using it for professional work communication. Our final artifacts included our website with its feedback pages, our guide to client communication, the 2 Reddit posts, and our 2 animated scenarios. Since Reddit is a platform of closely knit communities where people go to share their stories, we thought that it was appropriate to showcase a possible scenario on this platform. Because of the whole COVID-19 situation, we unfortunately couldn't film a video for our other scenarios, and we were worried that an animated tape would be less realistic. Because of this, we tried to develop our other artifacts as much as possible for a better balance. In the end, we hope that this provokes some thought about social anxiety solutions and how we should really be dealing with it. Coincidentally, because of COVID-19, many people are moving to online video calls for meetings and discovering how different and awkward it can be compared to in-person communication. We're happy with how all of our artifacts ended up coming together, especially since social anxiety is a problem many of us continue to face.